Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It depends on what time you're watching this. And welcome everybody. It is World Sight Day, and I'm talking to you on World Sight Day. And the theme for this year for World Sight Day is Hope for Sight, and it means a lot. And if we are seeing this particular video, and I'm sure who is watching this today, we are a privileged lot, right? And there are a lot of people who are not so privileged, and that is hope for sight. And let's all do whatever we can from a perspective of sight and help people who don't have sight, and that is where the hope for sight comes in. And so let's celebrate World Sight Day today, and I'm here to celebrate that. And I'm sure all of you who are watching this would look at this slide and wonder, what is this slide all about? This is a famous quote which I picked up from one of the creative directors in Japan. And the Japanese are known to do whatever they do in a very passionate manner. And it just got stuck with me, saying that, okay, don't make another shit for shit. I'm sure you will reflect on this as and when we go through the entire presentation or the entire session. But I want you to think around this, saying that, okay, don't make another shit for shit, because there is already a lot of shit out there. Why do you want to make another shit? That's the premise to this entire thing. But again, we will go through it, and I'm sure you will reflect and you find your answers for that particular statement. So who am I? My name is Laeeq. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a branding professional, I'm passionate about building brands with a purpose because obviously whatever is rooted to a purpose gives you absolute clarity in terms of what are you doing in this world, what are you doing in this universe, and you also define who is most important to you and start creating those relationships, and whether it's a brand or an individual. So, like I said, yeah, I come with 20 years of experience doing multiple things, businesses, building brands, and multiple things like that. Now, today's topic of discussion is around branding. Now, the question is, when you hear this saying that, okay, yeah, branding, what is it all about? And then comes around the personal branding, and then everybody will wonder and saying that, okay, personal branding, no, it's not for me. It's rocket science. I don't even know what it means. So today my attempt is to demystify a lot of these aspects around personal branding, because most of y'all, when you hear this particular word branding or personal branding, the first thing what you say is it's not for me. It's probably meant for the big guys, maybe Bill Gates, maybe Apple, maybe some of those big companies like HUL. It is meant for them, and it's not for me. But I'm going to showcase you saying that, okay, what is the importance of personal branding, especially in today's age and in the years to come. And it reminds me of this famous quote by a management guru I really admire, who's Peter Drucker. And he said, the best way to predict the future is to create it. So again, like the first quote what I gave you, this is another quote to reflect on, saying that, okay, predict the future. The best way to predict the future is to create it. So the power is in your hands, right? And saying, and your time is now to basically take control of that and create the future which you want to live in, or which you are predicting to be in, right? So firstly saying that, okay, so what do you need to do about personal branding? First, point number one, get your domains, get the same URLs across. So I have mine. So if you log on to laeeqali.com, my website is there, and the same URL you will find everywhere, whether it's about Instagram, whether it's about Facebook, whether it's about LinkedIn, whether it's about TikTok, which is banned now, or any of the platforms, right? Try owning one particular URL for yourself. So it could be laeeqali.com. I was lucky enough to get it. You could fix an abbreviation in the front or prefix, suffix onto it and say maybe amazing likely or anything which is there, right? You can do whatever you want and attach to it, but try and create one particular unique discoverable domain name or a URL for yourself, which is point number one. Okay, which means that everywhere you go, you have a consistency, everybody sees you with the same name. Now, before going into the entire thing, I want you to think about these two slides. One, what is your dream, right? Remember the other quote which said, saying that, okay, that you want to create your own future. So what is your dream? Because your dream is something in the future. What is that future which you want to live in? So I want you to think about this. Probably there was a dream which you have forgotten. And remember, our president, most loved president, Abdul Kalam, used to say, saying that, okay, India as a country needs a lot of dreamers, because with big dreams comes with so many other possibilities attached with it, whether it's jobs, whether it's about fulfilling dreams, whether it's about the fulfillment of achievement, whatever it is. So figure out what your dream is. Second most important thing, which I really like everybody to dwell deeper, is saying that, okay, why do you exist? I'm sure the statement would have come to you from multiple angles in the recent 4 or 5 years, in the last decade or so. And this is the so-called purpose, saying that, okay, what is your purpose? Why do you exist in this world? Right? And most of the time we stumble upon this and we say, not really stumble, we're all awed by this particular thing, saying that, okay, why do I exist? I don't even have an answer to it. But the whole point is to think deeper and ask these two questions again and again till you really find. It's not about figuring your purpose the first time around, but whatever comes into your mind, stay rooted to it, start doing things around it, and then keep revisiting it. It might change, but it's okay. But figure this out. Now, quickly, let's understand what the context is. These are little old numbers, around a year back, or 2 years back now. But this is the context of the digital world around us, right? 7.6 billion people live in this world with 57% internet users, which 4.3 billion are on the internet. This would have grown up again. I'm assuming that it has crossed 5 billion already. Now, this is the universe which you live in currently. 67% penetration from a mobile user's perspective, right? Average time spent per day on the internet, worldwide average used to be 6.4 hours a day. Imagine, India was at 7.47 minutes. Now, today, post-COVID, these numbers would have gone up by another 60%, which, not 60%, maybe 20, 30%, right? So, which means this is the amount of time people are spending on the internet. And which means that people are there from around the globe who are probably spending 7-8 hours of their day on the internet. This is your chance to be discovered by them, whether you are a business, whether you are a person, right? You can be discovered by them. Coming to India, 1.4 billion, 1.3 plus billion population, internet users, again, 41%, growing rapidly. It would have been around 50% currently, especially with the Geo and Facebook and Google focusing a lot of energies on India. These numbers are changing rapidly, right? So these are possibilities of where you can get discovered, right? So think about these numbers, because that mean you will start correlating this at a later point, as in when we go through this entire thing. Now, what's happening around us? Change. This is the only thing which used to happen. I'm saying pre-COVID, there were a lot of changes which is happening because there's a lot of action happening, right? Whether it is about the supermarket shelves, whether it's like hyper competition everywhere, right? The only thing which was happening was change. And then COVID came in and everything changed again. Now it's a completely new world order out there, right? The universe which we live in today is completely very different, right? Now, have we become irrelevant as people? Maybe a lot of them have become irrelevant. I know that, right? Then what's the other context? Saying that, okay, there is a sea of sameness out there, right? Out of our entire 1.3 plus billion people, I am guaranteeing you 99% of the people look the same, right? And you are also part of that particular sea of sameness. Now, it's your decision whether you want to be belonging to that particular sea of sameness, or do you want to stand out? Obviously, if you stand out, there are better opportunities which will come your way. People will notice you better, right? Then think about this, saying that, okay, in probably 1980s, we used to get 500 messages coming our way in terms of advertising, in terms of people trying to capture our mind space. Today, it's 5,000 or more messages coming our way on our mobile screen in the form of SMSs, in the form of notifications. I hope you all have seen Social Dilemma. If you have not, go and watch it. These are all things which is coming our way. So in this entire madness, how do we stand out is what we need to be thinking for ourselves. New media has become a reality now. We are all sitting in front of our mobile screens most of the time. We are officially living in an attention deficit social economy, right? Do you know how much attention span we have today? 6 to 7 seconds. That is the attention span we have today. So in that 6 to 7 seconds, how are you going to capture the attention of the audience? Think about it. So whether it's your business, whether it's you as an individual, how are you going to capture the attention, right? So let's come to what's personal branding, okay? Firstly, point number one, it's not about you. So it's not about me, right? But it's your life experiences. It's your learnings. It's your insights, what you, like every day we have so much of life experiences. We have so much of learnings, right? So it's about that, saying that, okay, share that to the world, because you have a possibility to impact millions out there. 1.3 billion people in India. Forget about the 1.3 billion. Take 10% of that. Think about the millions who you can impact. Take 5% of that. Take 2% of that, right? You figure out how you can impact them, saying that, okay, that is the possibility for you to do. So every post what you do on social media today has the possibility to impact millions, right? So in my mind, what is it? Personal branding is all about helping my younger self. Right? I always think saying that, okay, 10 years back or 20 years back, what was I lacking in my life? That is something which is worthwhile putting it out there into the world so somebody else can learn from it. So if you look at all my social profiles, you will keep finding stuff around branding, entrepreneurship, about my book, which is Your Time Is Now. All of these aspects are put together and packaged in a manner to help my younger self. My younger self is all of y'all who are listening to this, right? And so this is a construct for personal branding. So now comes the question saying that, okay, why personal branding, right? Again, like I told you, sea of sameness. Do you want to belong in the sea of sameness, or do you want to be standing out? Right? Everybody wants to stand out, right? But standing out is not easy. You have to earn your space to stand out. It's not like I wear a red color t-shirt and I stand out. But yeah, you might stand out for a moment. But the most important point is saying that, okay, you have to earn your space. Now, how do you earn your space? You earn your space when you make your own rules. You earn your space when you create your rules and define spaces for yourself. That is when you really stand out, right? Otherwise, you stick to somebody else's rules, you're going to fall into the same sea of sameness. That shouldn't be the case, right? So make your own rules. So now, all well said and done. Now, how do I go about creating a personal brand? Firstly, understand what's your DNA. Now, how do I go about defining what's your DNA, right? First, be self-aware. What are you known for? Now, if you don't know what you're known for, just take a step back and think, saying that, okay, what are the top 10 questions which people ask me? If you still if you still can't discover that, go to your friends and ask them, saying that, okay, what do you look upon in me? What do you take it? What would you like to take advice from me, right? So pick that 10 questions and figure out. That's the possibility to figure out what's your DNA. What are you passionate about is the next question, saying that, okay, you could be passionate about building brands, you could be passionate about gardening, you could be passionate about anything, right? You could be a doctor who is very interested in psychology. You could be about mental health awareness, right? It could be anything. So figure out what is your passion. What do you want? How do you want to change the world in some form, right? So figure out what's your DNA. What do you really enjoy doing? Now, again, these are words which is used, and most of the time we get confused, but the idea is to be a thought leader. Now, how do you be a thought leader, right? These are some pointers around it, saying that, okay, share your learnings, be original, be consistent, because it's your life learnings, it's your insights. There is a learning every day for us. Just try recording it in some form, right? Be original, be consistent, build active engagement and followers across any of the platforms which you are in, thereby becoming an influencer. You might get it wrong, it doesn't matter, but just be at it. Because somewhere you need to make your start, and your time is now to do that, not later on. Don't wait for somebody else to tell you to start. You have to start now, right? Now, yeah, all again, this is a big problem which is there, right? Self-confidence. I don't know what people are going to judge me on when I post something. What are they going to take away? Which is a big issue which is there. And so here are some tips in terms of how to build self-confidence, saying that, okay, how do you start? Saying that, okay, start by speaking up, right? In forums, it doesn't matter how people judge you or anything like that. Speak up. Why should you be bothered about what other people are judging you on? It doesn't matter. Speak up in a forum. Speak up in your classes. When your teacher is asking for opinion, stand up and say something, right? You should have a perspective always. So speak up, whether it's about what's happening out there in the world, or whether it's happening in your classroom. Speak up and say something about what your perspective is towards that particular point. Second, keep writing, keep making notes about whatever you see in life, right? Make these notes, take it at a later point, and push it onto the social media in whatever form. Make videos like this today. Making videos so easy. You take your mobile phone and just record. You might not get it right. It's okay to make those mistakes, but keep recording it. Keep recording, keep playing it back, keep sharing it with other people. Thereby, they'll give you feedback, and then you will get better at it. It doesn't matter. I'm telling you, just push it out there and start seeing how things will start working for you, right? Next thing comes to platforms, because finally, where do I go and put all this content and build my personal brand, right? Now, platforms is what I call, what are platforms? Platforms are typically social media platforms, which is LinkedIn, TikTok, Roposo, Facebook, Instagram. These are all platforms. Now, the key to the entire thing is saying that, okay, we need to make platforms love the content, what you put out there. Now, what does that mean? It is not this. So a lot of people think, saying that, okay, I take one picture and I post that, and on Twitter, I will go and say, I'm eating a donut. On Facebook, I say, I like donuts. On Instagram, I say, here is a vintage photo of my donut. Right? On YouTube, you say, here is how you can eat a donut. That's not the case, because each of these platforms is meant for certain things. Like if you go to LinkedIn, you will find a different kind of audience there. If you go to Instagram, you will find a lot of youth there, and they are on that particular platform for a certain reason. So study that and make sure that you are going onto that particular platform and pushing out content there, specifically in a manner which those people who are there like it, right? So how do you go about doing this? How do you go about making platforms love your content? First, choose your platform. First and foremost, you need not be on all platforms. That's your choice, right? So you choose whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's Facebook, whether it's, choose 1, 2, 3. You can choose all of them also. But if you don't have the energy, start with one. Experiment with one and see what happens. 2, be a self-reliant content machine. Your life learnings, your insights, like keep putting it out in some form. But whole point is saying that, okay, be consistent. You define that. Could be once in a week. It could be daily. It could be whatever. Nas Daily used to produce and put out one video every day. And all very relevant, impactful videos. So you define. If you keep putting that, you will create active engagement. The whole premise is saying that, okay, make people spend more time on the platform. Thereby, the platform can earn more revenue, ad revenue out of that, right? And that is when the platforms will love your content. So you'll have to figure that entire madness. This is a beautiful framework which is given by Ashish Chopra, one of our experts in the space of content. So he says, when it comes to content, always keep in mind IUCTC, right? I stands for inspirational, U is for useful, or C is for celebrating life. It could be topical, it could be on a day, it could be World Sight Day like this, right? Or it could be something which changes the world. So remember this, IUCTC is the framework to produce content. So if it doesn't belong to any of these content buckets, then it's probably not worthwhile. So always judge the content, what you're putting in, saying that, okay, is this IUCTC? Does it fall under IUCTC? Okay. Lastly, personal brand is about your networks and connection. Now, what does that mean? Saying that, okay, we are all probably in a lot of WhatsApp groups and we believe that we are connected, but we are not connecting as individuals. Like I'm connected to many of you who are watching this, but the whole point is that we are not connecting as individuals. So whoever is watching this, I'm requesting you, find me on Instagram, find me on LinkedIn, wherever, ping me and let's get connected. Let's talk, because I want to get connected with a lot more people. I want to see how I can help a lot more people. And that's why I'm doing this presentation today, right? We think that we are connected by being in a WhatsApp group, but we don't even know that other person. What does he do? What is he struggling with? What are his pain points? Whether he needs any help? How can I help them, right? That's when true connections happen. Now, the decision there is saying that, okay, now connections, there are so many connections. So you have to make a choice between quantity or over quality, or quality over quantity, right? For me, quality matters, because for me, a select set of people who make a difference, who I can make a difference in their lives and they can make a difference in my life, is what I am more bothered about, right? So it's not about quantity. It's not about the number of followers, what you have, right? It's about quality. It's about impact. It's about true relationships. So you make the choice. There's no yes, right or wrong here. It could be quantity, but it needs to be around your purpose, right? Remember, again, it's all about reputation. Now, reputation can just go off by one of the last things what you do, the last post what you do. But always remember saying that, okay, just be yourself, because everybody else is taken, right? So be yourself, express yourself, share your learnings, share your insights. It could be about family, it could be about business, it could be about anything what you're passionate about. Choose your platforms really well and make sure that you are creating a great personal brand. And how do you go about that? Again, coming back to the first two questions which I asked you, ask yourself, what is your dream? You might not find answers for it, but keep asking this question at you again and again every morning till you find what is your real dream. And why do you exist? What's the purpose? Why do you exist in this world, right? Keep asking. You won't find the answer. These are not easy questions to find answers for, right? But keep asking these questions and you will find your answers, because your brand is all about you and everybody else is taken. It has to be you. And whether it is about personal brand, whether it is about a business brand, right? These are keywords. If your brand does not make people feel better about their lives, about their relationships or their dreams, it doesn't matter what else you have got in your special ingredients. And yeah, so these are things about personal branding. You have any doubts around the same thing, find me. I've done my SEO well, so you can just Google me to find me. I am there on all platforms in the name of Laeeq. Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. Instagram and LinkedIn is where you might find me, respond fastest. So you can come there and ping me, and more than happy to guide you in some form, in any form, whether it's your building your personal brand, building your business brand. Yeah, so that's what it is. And thank you so much. And thank you, Dr. Kaushik. Thank you, Sankara, for inviting me today for this particular session. And Hope for Sight. Hope for Sight is big. And let's try and do whatever we can. Sankara is doing an amazing job. It's one of the entities which I really admire, and they're doing a fascinating job around doing great work in the space of eyesight and eye care and all that. And let's support people who are doing great work. And yeah, thank you so much. That's all from my end.